And there was one other thing, I think I missed it there, Pascal, was when Pascal was talking with me, and Pascal mentioned something about, he said, that fort up beside me,
yeah.
he said,
I mentioned Ollie. I said, what about Jamestown, because there's been so many occupations and inhabitations in it.
And when I went to check, it was 6.6
miles exactly.
And you wonder how they measured it, was it so many feet established or?
No, I don't know, I honestly don't know. No, I honestly don't. The 6.6 mile is very relevant because it's an Irish mile, and there's only two countries in the world that use that mile system, is Ireland and Spain. The English mile is a shorter mile.
6 Irish mile.
So it's 6 Irish mile. Or it'd be 6 Irish mile.
6 Irish.
Sorry,
yeah. 6 Irish mile.
Yeah. It's 6.6 English mile.
Yeah.
So it's the only one that uses that. Spain and Ireland are the only one that use that particular measure.
Anyone like to tell you Ollie?
Where is that coming?
Which one?
The Tower of Lade.
No, that's not.
No, that was only built in the 70s, 80s actually.
Yeah.
It was only a folly.
A folly, yeah.
They rebuilt it as a lighthouse.
The lighthouse.
You get too much money. The other way, Richard not here this evening, but we can talk. Sorry, somebody else just. Yes, Tom.
Just on what is the archaeology, if any has been done, tell us about the age of the round towers.
Yes.
As to when they were built.
I see. There's that much conflict and that much archaeologists will not believe me. No, I'll tell you that. I have to tell you the truth. The last book I read on the Round Tower, I'm not an academic, but I'm not a fool either, but the last book I read on the Round Tower, and this man was so adamant about built by the Christians, he even went as far as to say there had to be, he said, because the Romans invented cement in whatever it was, the 2nd or 3rd century or 4th century. So they couldn't possibly have built, But they were using lime mortar in the pyramids of Egypt to keep the dampness out, maybe 2,000 years previous, So how a man that was an architect would come along and say that these towers had to be Christian because they were built of cement. I don't know, it was lime mortar. The same as all the old stone buildings was, or most stone buildings would have been in Ireland, at the time. So I can't. There was a round tower, an archaeologist walking the round tower up in the north, and it would have been done under the British government, but it was done around the 50s, and apparently it wasn't a great, he didn't do a great job or so, to say anyway. And it found old Celtic inscriptions around it. They're in a museum in the north at the present time. But it still didn't give any definitive age. The stone can't be really dated, You can't really date stone.
You can carve a date the stone, but you can't carve a date the guy who put it there.
No, but you can't carve a date.
Do you want to go on and finish, and then we do the whole?
Ollie, just before you...
Yeah.
Could measurement be measured by Sarah?
I don't think so, Dale. Like in the ancient times, I know in Ireland, Dale, the chain would have been a measurement. It would have been a standard measurement in most countries, Dale, that had a chain.
We in forest.
We had what, Dale?
For the forest.
Well, Dale, not necessarily. That's, talking about a bit earlier, Dale, that we were full of forest. Don't forget.
But if you look at where did the word term or the foot come from?
Sorry,
where did the foot come from?
The foot, yeah.
Where did the foot come from?
No, you have me there.
Well, the foot was the measurement, it was the Pharaoh's foot. The size of the Pharaoh's foot, everything was calibrated to the Pharaoh's foot.
Oh, okay. Oh,
So every time a pharaoh, they had to recalibrate everything, but that's where we get the word foot, or we get the measurement of a foot, because the average size is 12 inches, and you know, so you're looking at, look how old that is, so measurement is not something that, we shouldn't dispel it that quickly, you know.
Yeah, sorry, Pascal, I did actually mean to say that there's probably going to be a lot more questions than answers.
I think that's a given value at this stage.
Yeah, I forgot to say that.
Keep going.
Okay, then we're into the hairy fairy stuff, because everything there I have is facts, right? Facts, I don't care. People can argue and they can come up with better theories if they have. I don't mind. I'm not. I'm just pointing out the fact. But this now, we have to go to the next one, which is why and who built the tower. Right? Now this, as I said, is not 100% reliable. It's not 100% reliable. But Ireland, you can see, has a very little lonely spot out there compared to the red. And we're probably used to that with so many empires that inhabited us or tried to take them over. But you can see the scale of the Roman Empire. Now, Rome nearly controlled most of the known world at this particular period in time. And there weren't saints, we covered that right. And they certainly had the right in Ireland, even though people would say they didn't. But that's the extent of the Roman Empire, and that's the threat that Ireland was facing. We say in 117 AD, and earlier and before, and probably afterwards. Now, over the course of nearly 100 years, the Romans attempted to invade England 3 times, right? Julius Caesar in 55, and AD 84. And contrary to popular belief, Scotland, with the aid of the Gaelic tribes in Ireland, never did relinquish its freedom. The Romans never did get a full foothold in Scotland, as much as the tribe did. In AD 410, when increased caution from the Gaelic, Irish and Scottish tribes into the north of England and attacks by the Angles and Saxons in the south, Roman Britain turned to the Roman Empire and Honorius for help. And Honorius wrote back to tell them to look to their own defences and refuse to send any help. This letter marked the end of the Roman Empire and any military control over Britain in 410. So basically after 410, you could nearly say Ireland was a safe place. Not necessarily safe, but it certainly wasn't under attack. So if the ground towers were built as signals, they'd have to be built before 410, and they'd have to be built sometime maybe after 84 AD. And that's only my own interpretation. That's a legion of Roman soldiers, which is pretty scary to me anyway. And we have a good idea when the Romans came, AD 40 or 84 AD, and went. So the entire lecture is a year of history, in my estimation. And a few events happened during this period. One in 81 AD, when the Roman general Agricola crossed into Scotland and won a major battle against the Irish and Scottish tribes. This is short-lived because in 22 AD, to prove the strong resistance to Roman rule by the Gaelic, Irish and Scottish tribes, Emperor Hadrian ordered the construction of a wall to strengthen the border between Scotland and England and Wales. And the third event happened in AD 209 after conflict with the northern tribes who were the Gaelic tribes. The Romans led an army to the border of Hadrian's wall to engage the Irish and Scottish tribes. When the Romans aiming to meet the rebels, or with the Romans aiming to meet the rebels in pitched battle, the Irish and the Scots instead opted for guerrilla warfare, which resulted in the deaths. Now, Roman historians say 30,000 deaths of Roman soldiers, which is a pretty fair amount to lose. Now, I didn't put that in because I wasn't sure, but that's what the Roman historians said, that there was 30,000 Romans killed. It probably is the first mention of guerrilla warfare used. So anyway, this Tacitus, the Roman historian, goes on to write that this particular Agricola had given refuge to an exiled Irish king, whom he hoped he might use as an excuse for conquest. This mention by Tacitus of an exiled Irish king bears a strong resemblance to one of our own high kings, Tubal Chocma, whom the Irish annals say Tubal Chocma, high king, was exiled from Ireland, and this is what the annals say, was exiled from Ireland as a boy, and to have returned from Britain at the head of an army to claim the throne. And the traditional date of his return to Ireland is between 100 AD and 140. And there have been Roman and British artifacts in 7th century associated with this too. This writing by Tacitus gives us a first clue as to which Irish king would have obtained a first-hand knowledge of the strength and power of the Roman army, and who also would have been aware of the weaknesses of Ireland's defence. Now, it's just to give us a clue as to who maybe would come back here, and that's the Roman Navy, another fierce looking that. Now, this is Tudor's grandson, Colin the Battles. Now, he was the son of Phelim Rigmar, and according to the annals, sources, a high king of Ireland, and he was the ancestor of the Connacht. But one important thing is, this is an excerpt from a medieval tale called The House of Love. Now, I think it was written around the 7th century now, in the 8th century. But this is what he had to say. Con was in Tara one time, and he went up early in the morning to the Rat of the Kings at the rising of the sun. And his three druids with him, Will and Block and Poesy, and his three poets, Eton and Corf and Cesar. And the reason he had for going up there with them every day was to look about every side, the way if any man would come into Ireland, they would not come unknown to him. Now, to me, that's a very important kind of tract, and a kind of it's the only real reference to any sort of kind of intention of kind of an invasion in Ireland. You know, later historians just will not contend that the Romans ever intended to come to Ireland. And the reason they say that was because some Italian general said he could take Ireland in a day, you know, something to that effect. And if you look at every program that the British, or on English history, or that the British do, they always quote this Roman general, Ireland wasn't more invaded. And historians still. But if you read that piece there, you know, it gives a fair idea of what their thinking was. And I just thought we're planning to secure Ireland's defences. These are the small clues we need to look for to gain a better knowledge of our ancient history. That's kind of the 100 battles, right? Now, this lad here, Kincormac McGarry, he's a son of Columbanus battles. He was hiking between 195 and 266 AD. Probably one of the longest, 40 years, I reckon, he was in power. In his reign in 209, at the Norman rules, this is kind of, this would have affected kind of Ireland's way of looking at things, you know, because in the early years of his reign in 2009, that the Norman rules of warfare where each army faced each other on battlefield took a dramatic turn of events. This event was recorded by another Roman historian, Dio Cassius, who stated when the Emperor Severus claimed to be provoked by the belligerents of the Celtic tribes in the north, campaigning against the Caledonian Confederation, a coalition of Celtic tribes. He used 3 legions of the British garrison, augmented by the recent, this is a Roman historian writing this, augmented by and formed the 2nd Partitia Legion, 9,000 imperial guards with cavalry support, and numerous auxiliary supplies from I think the Rhine, the British fleet and the Rhine fleet, and 2 fleets transferred from the Danube for the Caucasus. And that's a fair army to muster to, how would you put it, to take on a few supposedly small tribes up in Scotland, you know. But anyway, Di Cassio went on to write, he inflicted genocide. Now this is his own Italian, or his own historian. He went on to inflict a genocide to British nation on the natives and incurred the loss of another 50,000 of his own men in the attrition of the guerrilla tactics used before having to withdraw from Hadrian's Wall. And there's a lot more, he wrote a lot more, but that particular general killed men, women, and children. And this tacticus, or the story of Cassius, like, really didn't portray him very favorably, his own general, you know. And he killed men, like normally it was, even with guerrilla tactics, it was always soldiers against soldiers. But this particular general, basically killed men, women, and children. So I think that would have sent alarm bells back to Ireland, because Ireland and Scotland, contrary to